The F-15 is undoubtedly one of the greatest and most recognizable aircraft of all time. Something about its design uniquely screams fighter jet in a way no other aircraft do for me. In the context of War Thunder, the aircraft is not exactly meta. In fact, people have said it's dead on arrival, and that might be true for a time. But with the new AIM-120Ds, the Eagle definitely seems at least strong, but definitely lacks in areas which keep it from being a top 3. Obviously, the Eagle struggles to compete in dogfights against SM2s and J10s, but I don't think that it's necessarily the place you want to be in the first place. Anyone with a brain knows that, dogfighting a Eurofighter or a Rafale is quite frankly suicide, assuming the player knows what they're doing. So why would you put yourself in that position? This is where I feel the Golden Eagle works perfectly, as a BVR missile bus, so to speak. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't fun. I'm averaging 2 or 3 kills a game, and in fact, I've almost gotten a 60% win rate with the plane in the roughly 250 matches I've played so far. The plane has quickly taken the spot for my most air kills in my whole War Thunder career, and I'm hoping to get around 1,000 with this thing. So that means it's effective, right? I've dropped, unironically, 6 or 7 kill games before, and I feel untouchable. To me, the Golden Eagle isn't really a dogfighter. We're at the point where dogfighting is slowly getting more irrelevant with each patch, and the Fox 3 missile allows you to make space for yourself and prevent someone from even getting close to you. If someone really wanted to, they could easily hold you in place with a few Fox 3s, ensuring you're not able to close the distance on them or gain ground. And at that point, gaining ground in a plane flying defensive is much easier than one with a missile launch on you. I'm not actually saying dogfights are gonna die or that they're not fun, because they're actually really fun. But my point is that as we get closer to 5th gen fighters, the need to get into an actual dogfight is quite rare, aside from just personal preference or fun. The Eagle is a vehicle that does BVR actually quite well. I'm pretty average in terms of skill, but if I'm able to get a positive KD on this plane, then someone who no-lifes this game will probably have a great time as well. The best way to approach combat with the Eagle is to really understand your limitations of yourself and that of your enemy. Unfortunately, I'm not a Top Gun pilot with thousands of hours in flight with a military doctrine and training, and I'm just a chud who plays War Thunder. I particularly like to prioritize the targets most likely to be hit, or aircraft mainly too dangerous to leave the top of the map uncontested. Planes like Eurofighters, Hornets, Sukhois, anything Chinese are quite important since they'll be holding the most missiles, which have a much greater effectiveness when fired high and fast. The Eagle actually demolishes in down tiers, so firing on any flanker is a good way to get a pick on a premium player. The AIM-120D, in my opinion, is one of the strongest BVR missiles in-game, and I feel like they hit a lot more compared to the C5. It helps a lot that you can carry 12 of them, and with your ASAR radar, you'll be shooting down enemies fairly easily. In my experience playing the game, I like to Iron Dome the shit out of people. Normally I'll have 2 or 3 missiles shot at me, which are really easy to shoot down whilst I keep lock on enemies going defensive. In the Eagle, your speed and height play a tremendous role, and you'll be the one keeping the enemy team away from high ground, with them flying defensive for a lot of the game, whilst your missiles tend to ignore chaff. With regards to how you engage enemy players, it's actually something you can decide and set the parameters of, very easily. Against a Eurofighter, you arguably have the better missile, and more of them. In my opinion, the Eurofighter can't really compete with the Golden Eagle in a BVR match, so the Eurofighter has less countermeasures than the Eagle, so it's going to be forced into going defensive for much longer. Don't take this as an opportunity to close the gap and get closer. You really don't want to get close to a Eurofighter. The best bet is to keep a respectful distance of any aircraft that's just going to demolish you in a rate fight. The same goes for the Rafale, actually. Don't get close to it. The Mika is a threat for a reason, and if you're within 15 kilometers of a Rafale, you're kind of asking for it. This is no disrespect to Hornet players, but every time I've fired on a Hornet, I think I've killed them. Also, if you're in a down tier and see a Tomcat, definitely fire one or two at them, because Tomcat players don't know how to notch with their shit aircraft. Flankers are a bit of a gamble. Either it's a premium player and like the freest kill of your life, or the bane of your existence in an SN2 that'll just wipe you off the map in a few turns. The Eagle isn't a sledgehammer where every fight is instantly won in one turn and a burst of 20 mil. The plane is a scalpel, and you really need to play with a bit more thought and conscious effort when you do. I touched on it a little before, but the flight performance alone didn't give the Eagle its legendary status. Countless hours of tactics, strategy, and doctrine contributed to its 104 air kills to nothing, a lot more than pure flight performance. Maybe I'm a little biased or jealous that one of my favourite fighters is mid. I'm certainly salty over no AIM-9X, that's for sure. But I'm sure it'll be added to the plane when the Raptor is, hopefully. The plane is strong, but definitely not the best in its BR, and the plane is also not a pushover in an up tier. The plane can definitely hold its own, and honestly I can't wait to keep flying it.